though by now we would be ready to jump right in, and I would have no technological issues, but each week throws something else at me. So let's just take a moment of quiet as we breathe in all of the joy, and let's let out with the oi. Breathe in the joy and out with the oi. And so with that, we're going to begin our Shabbat service singing these words, which I'm going to now share on my screen. And before we do that, I'm going to try to bring everyone up into my big screen so that I can see everyone. And I can't. So let's try this. Okay, now I think I can. I'm going to try to minimize all of the back and forth stuff. All right, we are back. And so now we're going to join in our opening prayer. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. We're going to build this world from love together. Let's sing. I will build this world from love. Da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. And you must build this world from love. Da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. And if we build this world from love, then God will build this world from love. Olam chesed, olam chesed yibaneh. Olam chesed yibaneh. Olam chesed yibaneh. Olam chesed yibaneh. I will build this world from love. And you must build this world from love. And if we build this world from love, then God will build this world from love. Olam chesed yibaneh. Yadadai, yadadai, dai, dai. Olam chesed yibaneh. Yadadai, yadadai, dai, dai. Wish everyone a Shabbat Shalom, Aiden.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom to everybody. Let's take a moment to how do I always do this? I'm going to unmute everyone. We can all wish each other Shabbat Shalom. So say Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shalom. We've started. We're ready. We're good.
Shabbat Shalom.
Both
Shabbat.
family, our extended family from
Shabbat
all the
Shalom.
way from Cleveland, Ohio to Galveston, Texas, everywhere. So we're going to get started with our Shabbat. And I want you now to think of moments this past week, all those moments in which we are grateful to God for giving us life, for giving us the opportunity to just wake up, to give us the opportunity to do good, to give us the opportunity to celebrate in our blessings. And so I'm going to try to mute all of us. And because there are so many of us, here we go. We're unmuted. So if you are celebrating a birthday or an anniversary or another happy occasion, why don't you raise your hand and I will unmute you and you can share that with us now. Pam Zenick, what do you have to share with us?
I have a new great nephew born this afternoon.
Mazel tov.
Yes, in Virginia. He's Lazarus Daygood.
Excellent.
Interesting name. He was almost 10 pounds.
Wow. Okay. Well, Mazel tov. That's wonderful.
Thank
Thank you for sharing that. That already starts our Shabbat beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
Someone else have something to share. Hope, I see your hand up. Go ahead. You're live.
Check it out. I finally got the Nintendo Switch in the game that I wanted.
Nice.
I've already upgraded my house to my house and everything too.
Excellent. Excellent. Mazel tov. Enjoy it. Okay, Ellen Goldhirsch, you are live on CBI, Kabbalat Shabbat Radio.
Shabbat Shalom. I have a new great niece. She was born last week, I believe.
Mazel tov. It's wonderful. I love it.
Grayson. Her name's Grayson.
Excellent. Mazel tov, Grayson, and the family. Thank you for sharing that. Aiden, your hand's up.
So there's been a lot of great weather outside.
Yes, there
it's
has.
It's not raining, it's perfect weather.
Amen. Amen. Any other wonderful news? Birthdays, anniversaries, celebrations. Barbara Can, you're live on CBI Kabbalat Shabbat Radio.
I don't actually have a celebration, but I just wanted, is there any way you can talk louder?
Oh, well, I can try. I'm talking into the microphone,
okay.
But I will do the best I can.
Okay.
Okay. Any other issues with the microphone before we start? All right. So with that, let us join together in our prayer, thanking God for giving us life, for sustaining us and bringing us to this special moment. I'm just going to do one thing real quick, just to make sure that we are safe and secure in our room. Okay, I think we are good. So with that, I'm going to share our screen and we are going to keep this party Kabbalat Shabbat going. And here we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Big amen, everyone. so if you have your Shabbat candles around, now would be a good time for you to light your Shabbat candles. We're going to light them all as a community. And so, Aaron, if you'll read the screen for us.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Okay, and so let's light the Shabbat candles together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shall Shabbat. Shabbat hugs and kisses. Mwah. Mwah. Shabbat shalom. All right, let's continue. We welcome, yeah, you should stay here with me. As we welcome in our Sabbath bride singing Lecha Dodi. Hopefully you had a chance to check out the little video that I sent this week on our Facebook page so that you can sing along to this one. As I said, it is an oldie, but it is a goodie. And so with that, join together. Ya la 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 lecha dodi. Ya la 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 likrat kala. Ya la 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 pnei Shabbat. Pnei Shabbat mekadesh. Ya la 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 lecha dodi. Ya la 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 likrat kala. Ya la 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 pnei Shabbat. Shabbat mekabela Shamor v'zachor v'dibur echad Yishmianu el hamyuchad Adonai echad Shabbat, lechu v'nelcha, ki lekor havercha, merosh mikedem zivcha, sof ma'aseh. So we now rise as we welcome in the Sabbath bride. Just remember, the Sabbath bride can see everything that I can see on that screen. So just be mindful when you rise. And here are the words. Go shalom. Atem bala. Gam b'simcha. U'b'sola. Shabbat, Shabbat, Yalla la 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 Chadori, Yalla la 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 Likrat Kala, Yalla la 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 B'nai Shabbat, B'nai Shabbat Nekabela. So if you want to remain standing, you may. If you want to sit because it's a little more comfortable, you may sit. I'm going to stay seated just because it's a little easier for me to control everything. I hope the sound is okay. You guys can give me a thumbs up if it sounds all right. Good. If Nancy Scheinman says it's all right, then it's all right. If it's all right with her, it's all right with me. Here we go. Sing it, Aiden.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer?
Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed. Le'olam va'ed. Yalla la la la, 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 yalla la la la. You know I love singing next to you. I love that you're singing with me. You sound great. I can even kiss you on the screen. You can't go anywhere. So for obvious reasons, we're going to focus in a little bit on creation, focus in on the beauty of the world around us. It is this past week, Earth Day. And so I want us to keep Earth Day in mind and how we take care of the planet and what it is doing at this time, especially when we are not destroying it, what it can be like and its potential. So for creation, Alden Solovey writes, author of life, architect of creation, artist of the earth, your works declare your holy name. Mighty rivers, turbulent seas, towering mountains, rolling hills, vast spaces of brilliance and grandeur. You created palette and paint, color and hue, shape and form, abundant and beautiful, glorious and majestic, full of mystery and wonder. Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. Blessed are you with divine love. You created a world of splendor. In each age, we receive and transmit Torah. At each moment, we are addressed by the world. In each age, we are challenged by our ancient teaching. At each moment, we stand face to face with truth. In each age, we add our wisdom to that which has gone before. At each moment, the knowing heart is filled with wonder. In each age, the children of Torah become its builders and seek to set the world firm on a foundation of truth. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Open up our eyes, teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one. Open up our eyes, teach us how to live, fill our hearts with joy and all the love you have to give. Gather us in peace as you lead us to your name, and we will know that you are one. We will know that you are one. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Ba'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Ba'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. We read together, love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or at rest or are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot, so that you can be holy for God. I am your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai, your God. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught, that before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except joining hands, marching together. Let's join hands virtually. If you just go like this, you're joining hands, and let's cross through that sea. Right? See? Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, Norah tehilot, Oseh Who is like you? Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai? When Moses and the children crossed the sea, they sang to you with songs of joy. Who is like you, Adonai? Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, Norah tehilot, Oseh Join together in singing Hashkivenu. Sarah and Jax, you know this one? Yeah? Want to lead it? No? Okay, that was your opportunity. We'll have to talk this week. We'll work it out this week. You can lead so everyone else can hear how beautiful of a voice you have singing. We're going to join together in singing our Hashkivenu, asking God to look over us as we go to sleep and let us rise up in peace. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us with wisdom, compassion, and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom. V'hamideinu shomrenu l'chaim. Save us for the sake of your name. The meaning of Shabbat is to celebrate time rather than space. 6 days a week, we live under the tyranny of things in space. On Shabbat, we try to become attuned to the holiness of time. It is a day on which we are called to share in what is eternal in time, to turn from the results of creation to the mystery of creation, from the world of creation to the creation of the world. We join together in Vishamru. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat lasot et HaShabbat v'deratam berit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat lasot et HaShabbat v'deratam berit olam. I hope everyone can see what I'm seeing, because I see the Betts boys dancing and getting down to Vishamru. You're looking good. Veini uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti leolam, oti leolam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat lasot et HaShabbat v'deratam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim v'et haaretz v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat lasot et HaShabbat v'deratam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat lasot et HaShabbat v'deratam berit. Get down, Betts boys, get down. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat lasot et HaShabbat v'deratam berit olam. If only we can take after Grayson and Easton. That is the Shabbat joy that we all need right now. So if you want to dance, you can dance. If you want to turn your camera off and dance, you can do that too. But we're going to get down by getting up and rising for our tefillah. Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, rebuild a weakened will, and get us up to dance like the Betts boys. Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Satai Tifta. Na 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 Uviaki Tehilatecha. Adonai, come on, Butler family, dance. We see you, Nybergs. tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov. You have 3 years to figure this out. Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Gula Livnei B'neihem, L'man Shemo B'Yahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'Olam Adonai, Mechayeh HaKol Atah Rav Le'Hoshia, Morid Hatal, Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed, Mechayeh HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Berofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afa. Well, at least you know the melody. Micha Mocha Bal Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memid Umechayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman Atal Hachayot HaKol. Baruch atah Adonai, Michayeh HaKol. Hayden, you can read this while I get some water. Nice and loudly, tell everyone.
Days pass and the years vanish, comma, and we walked. What?
Keep going.
Comma.
What?
Comma, and we walked sightless among miracles. God, fill our eyes with seeing and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence like lightning illumines the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see wherever we gaze that the bush burns unconsumed. And we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it.
Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Blessed is the Eternal One, the Holy God. We may be seated. The comma is because I dictated it into my computer. So there it is. May these hours, let's read together. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. Praise to you, Adonai, who sanctifies Shabbat. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, hamachazir shechinato l'Tzion. Blessed are you, Adonai, whose presence returns to Zion. When we behold your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and stars that you set in place, what are we humans that you are mindful of us? We mortals that you take note of us. You made us little less than divine, adorned us with glory and majesty. You gave us dominion over your handiwork, laying the world at our feet. How majestic is your name throughout the earth. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulechana elehodot. Blessed are you, Adonai. Your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Join together now in our prayer for peace. Shalom Rav. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu Lechol hashalom, ki atahu melech adon. Lechol hashalom, shalom rav Yisrael amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov beinecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה לשלומך. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Now, with our minds a little more at ease, our thoughts a little less frazzled than perhaps where we were at the beginning of the service, be it the needs in our lives, the news that is bringing us anxiety and fear, or just the fear of the unknown, we think of all of those in our lives who are in need of that peace that perhaps we are feeling, that wholeness that we may be feeling at this moment. Now is a time in which our hearts are with those who are suffering from the illness, as well as their family and their friends and their community members who are suffering alongside with them, unfortunately, not physically next to them, but certainly spiritually and emotionally. And so we think of everyone who may be going through a really difficult time at this moment. We add also the names of our congregational family who have asked us to keep them in our thoughts and our prayers as we pray for their healing and wholeness. John Scheiman, Bruce Leipzig, Kay Leipzig, Danny Hart, Carla Brandon, Miles Reich, Susan Lynch, Max Schinder, Melody Blake, Sue Smith, Roger Soloway, and Rabbi Jimmy Kessler. If there are any other names that you'd like to mention out loud who is in need of healing, I invite you to raise your hand and I will call on you as I see you. Okay, Nancy Scheiman.
Suzanne Levin.
Arlene Levine.
Dr. John Juglian.
Grammy. Karen White.
Bill Huff.
Pam.
Melanie Lynch and Farhangani Clark.
The Rennecks.
The Clark family, the Wright family, and the Rennick family.
Hope, did you have your hand up? Okay. Hope.
So me and my family and my cousin's friends who were like very close to him.
Okay. Thank you. Aiden.
All the people who are suffering from the COVID-19 virus, and all the medical workers and everyone who's risking their lives to save other people.
Thank you. Beautiful. With that, Arlene, you have your hand up again.
And I agree with Aiden. He said the same thing that I thought, to all the people that are suffering, and even my neighbor's brother-in-law in Italy, who's very sick with COVID.
Thank you. Thank you. So as we find each week, it's unfortunate that we can't hold each other physically, but here on this screen, just being in each other's presence is the healing that we need to make ourselves and bring wholeness to our lives and to those in the world around us. And so with that, we're going to join together in our prayer for healing. Dear God of our ancestors,
Dear God of our ancestors,
help us renew our faith.
help us renew our faith.
Grant us a perfect healing.
Grant us a perfect healing.
Bring peace to all our days.
Bring peace to all our days.
Restore our strength of body.
Restore strength of body.
Help clarify our minds.
Help clarify our minds.
Refresh our tired spirits.
Refresh our tired spirits.
Rejuvenate our lives.
Rejuvenate our lives.
Thank you for all these blessings.
Thank you for all these blessings.
Throughout our days and nights.
Throughout our days and nights.
celebrate the journey. This precious gift of life.
This precious gift of
And
life.
Take a few moments and pause silent meditation. Shabbat Shalom. So this week's Torah portion happens to be one of my favorite Torah portions of the year. Now, if you've been following along with the Torah, you would say that's kind of an odd favorite, Rabbi. This is kind of a gross Torah portion all about skin ailments and diseases. There's graphic description of what the priest is supposed to be looking for. So why then is it my favorite? Well, the reason why is because it's really fun assigning this Torah portion to bar and bat mitzvah students. When a child reads this Torah portion, they usually come back. Usually it's actually the parent who will call me and say, Rabbi, we need a different Torah portion. This is absolutely ridiculous. It is disgusting. My daughter or son will not be doing this. And in the time that I have been a rabbi, each kid that has received this specific Torah portion is like the perfect kid to receive this Torah portion. They are grossed out. The parents aren't happy about it. It's really kind of fun in my own way. Now, I would say that any other time of the year or any other time period, this Torah portion would be awful to have. But whoever has this Torah portion this week as a bar or bat mitzvah Torah portion, hit it out of the ballpark, because it has never been more relevant than it is today. It is, as I said, a gross Torah portion. It's about skin diseases and illnesses, and there's graphic descriptions. It's about quarantining the sick people and integrating them back into the society, a way in which will not affect the people living there, something that we know all too well. The low-hanging fruit is to compare the situation in our Torah portion with our current situation. And all throughout the week, we are constantly reminded of what is happening right now. We are inundated with the information about the viruses and the experiences of our quarantine. And I really don't want to remind us about our current situation. We've got enough of it each and every day. It's nothing new and it's not productive. Instead, I'd like to focus on how we will integrate ourselves back into society once that process begins to take shape. I'm not talking about what it's going to look like when the beaches open up, whether it's here in Galveston or in Jacksonville, Florida, or any other time where the beaches open up. I'm not going to talk about the process of how we're going to make our way back into shopping malls and restaurants and gyms. No, it's bigger than that, and quite frankly, much more vital to our everyday living, our health, and our survival. In order for us to do so, I'd like to talk just for a moment about what the rabbis see as the cause of this tzara'at, of this plague that is talking about in Tazria and Mitzora. Tazria is the tzara'at, is the plague. Mitzora is someone who has the plague. Our ancient rabbis see tzara'at as a punishment for something that we have done. And Midrash even goes so far as to say that the Mitzora is a play on words to motzi ra, the person who says bad things about other people. In other words, the rabbis in our tradition see tzara'at as lashon hara, evil speech that is caused by what we say and do. In our Torah study last week, and if you didn't get a chance to join us, I hope you'll join us tomorrow for our Torah study. But last week we delved into some Talmud and we discussed the power of our words and how damaging they can be on a person and on our society. We read in Baba Metzia, it was said before Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak, anyone who humiliates another in public, it is as though he were spilling blood. He even says that as we see that after the humiliated person blushes, the red leaves his face and pallor comes in its place, which is tantamount to spilling his blood. Now, I'm not suggesting that COVID-19 has been caused by our hateful speech. But I think that there are many lessons to be learned from our shared experience. If anything, our social distancing has taught us the value of our relationships. We are gathered here together on this beautiful page, not just to pray the words of our prayer book, or sing some songs or dance. We've come here tonight because we crave the human connection. We long for community and deeper relationships, especially at a time when we are so distanced from one another. It almost feels as though we're more connected than we were before this took place. But we've learned also that in order for us to defeat this plague, we need to work together. We need each other in order to move forward in a way that allows us to be unified and strong and not divided and pitted against one another. It is as simple as the compassion that we show one another by wearing a mask out in public to how we do and how we will treat each other on a human level. It begins in our homes. Since we're stuck in our homes, we might as well get started now. It's in the way that we treat each other with love and kindness. It's the way that we have compassion and respect towards one another. It's even about how we speak, not just to each other, but about other people in our homes. Because what I have found as a parent is that our words, good and bad sometimes, find their way out into the world very, very quickly. So nothing stays here. It all translates out. And even if you don't have children at home, even your thoughts or your biases find their way out into the world, whether it's explicitly or implicitly. Once we have built up our home, it's about how we treat one another in our community and those in the world around us. It's how we're going to use our speech and our actions to bring humanity together in a way that celebrates our similarities rather than what differentiates us from one another. If anything that we have learned from this experience, it's that COVID-19 has a total level playing field here. We are all on the same plane. None of us are immune from contracting COVID-19, we have much more in common than we may have ever realized. And so now it's our opportunity. It's our opportunity to rebuild from the ground up. We will not go back to the way things were. There will be new norms. Part of those new norms are going to be the way that we connect with each other. It's about how we will build our communities and truly not take each other and the human touch for granted. Rabbi Yaakov of Novominsk, a Hasidic rabbi, taught the following: I put the plague of leprosy in the home in the same way that leprosy comes as a consequence from the sin of narrowness of vision, that's of sin of narrowness of vision that stems from hatred. So the destruction of the house, that being the temple in Jerusalem, is caused by baseless hatred, the plague of leprosy in the home. The temple was a sacred space in which God dwelled on earth. It was pure, wasn't tainted with hatred, but rather sacred and blessed. According to Rabbi Novominsk, the sacred space was destroyed because of the way that we treated each other. And as we are finding out, and we know that God's presence cannot dwell in a society filled with hatred and evil speech. I'm not in a rush to build the Jerusalem temple, and I am hopeful that we can build our own temples, the ones that we are sitting in right now, our mikdashei ma'at, our small sanctuaries, both at home as well as in the beautiful world around us, in a way that will once again be worthy of God's blessing and presence. I'm hopeful that we will see the humanity in each other and the potential for deeper and more sacred relationships. I am hopeful that the impact this has had on the environment inspires us to be more mindful of what we do and to take action to take care of our planet. And may the day come soon when our bar and bat mitzvah students will once again teach us how grossed out they were when they first read the Torah portion, but that the true blessing is that the Torah brought all of us together to teach us the way to ensure God's blessing and presence in our lives and in a world so filled with beauty, with everyday miracles, and the unlimited potential of all of us. Shabbat Shalom. With that, we think of that potential, that work that we can do in bringing more shleimut, more peace and wholeness to our world. And so let us join together in the words of Oseh Shalom. May the one who causes peace to reign in the high heavens, let peace descend on all of us, on Israel and all who inhabit the earth. And then we'll say Amen, but it's really not just about God who does it. It is about all of us who create that and partner with God in bringing that peace. Oseh Shalom Bimroma, Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel, Ve'imnu, Amen. La 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 la. with that, we will continue as we have been doing over the last few weeks of counting the Omer. So I will invite us to rise now as we think once again of the blessings in our lives as we count up to the days when the Torah will be handed to us and we will celebrate together as a community, perhaps even in person, but if not, here on this computer. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat ha'omer. If you don't know Hebrew, let's do the English. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to count the Omer. Hayom shisha asar yom shehem shnei shavuot u'shnei amim la'omer. Today is 16 days, which is 2 weeks and 2 days of the Omer. And with that, we will continue to stay standing as we chant Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kigoye ha'aratzot, velo samanu kimishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, vigor aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu kodim, umishtachavim umodim, lifnei melech, malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu, v'nemar v'haya Adonai, l'melech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad. You may be seated. At this time, we now turn our thoughts and our prayers to those who are no longer with us in body, but are here with us in spirit and in blessing. This past week, we commemorated the murder of 6 million Jews during the Shoah. And so as we read this poem written by Alvin Salovey, I want us to hold all of them in our hearts, hold them not just in memory, but in our actions, so that we can truly ensure that something like this never happens again to us or to anyone else. We read together, hold fast to the breath of life, hold fast to the song of life, hold fast to the soul of life. This is my sacred duty, God of old, as survivor, as witness, as a voice of history and truth. Why else did I live when so many died? Why else do I stand when so many were put to rest? Why else do I hope and yearn when so many were silenced? Hold fast to awe and wonder. Hold fast to radiance and light. Hold fast to mystery and majesty. This is my sacred duty, God of old. As mourner, as testimony to horror and destruction, what else remains? What else endures? What more can you ask of me but to choose life in the shadow of death? We'll pause for a few moments in silence as we remember all of the victims of the Shoah, the 6 million Jews, as well as the millions of others who lost their lives simply because of the way God made them. Now at this time, read the names of those in our congregational family who have died recently, as well as those who have died at this season in years past. We are in a period of mourning for Harry Nussbaum and Dan Spector. And to their names, we remember the following names of our congregational family whose yortzeit fall on this Shabbat. Louis Adam, Harriet Alpert, Lisa Arnold, Bessie Baxter, Marcel Bernheim, Henry Bloom, Aaron Blum, Rachel Bromberg, Mayor Bronstein, Matilda Colby, Oscar Eldridge, Frank Feldman, Isaac Ike Flatto, Michael Langer, Ellis Levin, Teresa Lewis, Charles Pitt, Annie Posmantier, Julius Pervin, Sue Richard, Maxine Roth, Mona Shabbat, Dorothy Shane, Eric Spear, Lita Ann Thomas, Paul Verkin, Rose Wilk. If there are any other names that you wish to add to the Kaddish list, I invite you to raise your hand and I will call on you. Ellen.
Max Olam,
Karen Weinberger.
Nikki Astor, Jack Kaufman, Bunny Lutzker.
Sandy.
Aunt Rita Palazzola.
I feel like there may be more people on the other side. Is there another side? No, maybe this is it. Okay. Any other names? All right. With that, we'll once again rise together, shoulder to shoulder, in support of one another as we recite Mourner's Kaddish for our loved ones, as well as for those who no longer have one to recite Kaddish for them. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divrach hirite v'yamlich malchute, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'gala v'zman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach la'alam l'amei amaya, yiparach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'itadar v'itale v'ithalel shemei kudusha b'richu ve'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran v'alma v'imeru, amen. Yehi shalama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imeru, amen. Osei shalom b'imramav huya say shalom Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imeru. Amen. Zichronam livracha. May all of their memories be for a blessing. And so with that, just a few announcements. Tomorrow morning, we have our Torah study here in my dining room, just on the other end of my computer. So I hope you will join me for a Torah study. If you've never studied Torah before, it is perfectly fine. If you know nothing, it's great. If you know everything, it's great. Just come with an open mind for discussion and an open heart to be moved and inspired. So I hope that you'll join me tomorrow. It is at 10 a.m. We have a few extra things this coming week. Yom HaAtzmaut, the Israel Independence Day, preceded by Yom HaZikaron, Israel Remembrance Day, is this Tuesday. So Tuesday night, we have a very special opportunity to hear about our recent Israel trip. We took a trip to Israel just, I don't know, a month or so ago. Feels like it was 6 months ago. I don't know. And we're going to have some of the folks who went on the trip share their experiences and their reflections. So I hope that we have plenty of us who want to come and hear about the once in a lifetime, truly once in a lifetime trip to Israel, and to look forward to the next one. And hopefully it will entice you and get you thinking about an opportunity to come back again, and let us just celebrate Israel and all of its blessings. On Wednesday morning, we are going to do our exercising mind, body, and spirit. So that will be at 9 a.m. And I'll be sending all the information out with correct links. For those of you out in YouTube land, I apologize if you did not get the correct link. I posted it correctly at the very, very end before we started this. So hopefully everyone got on who wanted to get on. It looks like there are a few people who are watching. So with that, we are going to conclude our Shabbat service, and it is always such a blessing to share this space with all of you, both my family, my dad, my in-laws, as well as my extended family, all the way from my childhood, from Cleveland, Ohio, Jacksonville, Galveston, and wherever else people may be watching. So once again, I thank you for coming here and being a part of this community. It is truly an honor to lead in this. And of course, I want to thank Aiden for doing such a wonderful job, beautiful singing tonight. So thank you. Thank you. Amazing.
Thanks for letting me.
And so we are going to conclude our service with a prayer that is both for Yom HaShoah, it is for Earth Day, and it is for how we are going to rebuild a hopeful future. And so we will join together in the words of my shared screen, the words from Chana Senech, singing about Eli, Eli, asking God that these things never end, the sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the heart. And so we'll join together in singing our closing prayer. Eli, Eli, shelo yigamer leolam, achol lehayam, bishru shel hamayim, barak hashamayim, tfilat adam, achol lehayam, bishru shel hamayim, barak hashamayim, tfilat adam. Oh God, my God, I pray that these things never end. The sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the heart, the sand and the sea, the rush of the waters, the crash of the heavens, the prayer of the heart. So I wish you all a Shabbat Shalom. I'll unmute us all so we can wish each other a Shabbat Shalom. I haven't heard your voices in a little while, so with that, I'm going to unmute us. Hello, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Take our right here.
Social distance.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
You can
Shabbat
grab your-
Shalom.
and you
Shabbat
can-
Shalom.
Sounds like the puppy saying the same.
Favorite Concord Grape Manischewitz wine.
Oh, here we
Aiden's
go.
gonna have his first little sip. He drank our grape juice this week, so now he has to drink. So we're gonna join together in our prayer. If
Where's
you
the,
have
other-
it with you, great. If not, we'll do it on your behalf as we
Can we do the other?
sanctify this time and space.
Good.
Here we go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. It'll be okay. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kadsho b'ahava u'bratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'maseh v'reishit ki hu yom tehila l'mikra'ei kodesh zecher l'tziyat mitzrayim kivanu v'charta Virtanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha v'ahava uvratzon inchaltanu baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Amen. L'chaim. L'chaim. Oh, it's awful. We make the same faces. We make the same faces. Okay, well, we wish you all a Shabbat Shalom. We do not have challah, but if you have challah, you can say your motzi at home, and we will see you next time. So thank you guys for joining, and let me unmute everyone again so we can say hello to one another.
Guys, I love you.
Have a good week.
See you next
Shabbat
time.
Happy weekend. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
Bye.
Yes, where's Sarah? She's gone already. All right, we'll
Shabbat
get her-
shalom all.
Good on you. Bye.
Take care. Be well.
Shabbat shalom.
Bye.
Bye.
Love the dog. Love the dog.
Yeah.
That's a smaller version of the dog that I know.
Yeah, that's Archie. He's the little one. Nana's sleeping.
Oh,
You missed her snoring through your sermon, Rabbi. So
It's a good response.
cheer up. She snores through everything. So
So does ours.
Oh.
That's right. That's right. All right. Yes.
all right, y'all. Everybody, take care and stay safe.
Thank you. You too.
You
Shabbat
too.
shalom.
Bye bye.